Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be discussing the places that I personally have been buying Chanel bags over the many years, or recently where I've been buying them, how to protect yourself when buying Chanel bags outside of the store. But if you are new to my channel and you like all things fashion, or you want to know all the latest fashion news, then hit that subscribe button below if you aren't subscribed, and also the bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos. I upload videos every weekend, and then I might occasionally have a midweek upload as well. So I want to run through the points that I was thinking that I should discuss with you first. Okay. I could well and truly just go into detail of all the places that I bought from, but I think it's actually important to explain first how to protect yourself when it comes to buying outside of the store. Now, I want to put a bit of a disclaimer here as well. This is just all my opinion. This is just me sharing my experiences. You might have a different experience to me when it comes to like buying online and dealing with authenticators. You might have a bad experience, you know, it can happen, but also as well, you could have a fantastic experience. And especially given the price increase from Chanel, you know, it does give you food for thought. Buying online. First, I know all the kind of reputable places to buy from, and I'll give you a list of those later. I would always recommend that you actually get your bags authenticated. As to whether you get them authenticated before you buy or after you buy is going to depend on where you're buying from. So my strongest advice would be to authenticate beforehand. Because I'm buying from consignment stores that are based in Japan, they don't have the time to go and take all those particular extra photos that you need in order to get the bag authenticated beforehand. Because they are a business. They have a lot of bags. Japan is a very oversaturated market. Like, there is a lot of luxury goods for sale in Japan, and there's a lot of buying of luxury goods in Japan. So these stores don't have the time to get you all those particular photos that you need. They will give you photos of the bag though, and they'll tell you the condition of the bag. So some authenticators will be able to authenticate off the listing, some might not. Some might need a lot of photos because they're very particular about the authentication process. So that is where I would, like I said, I go back to the fact that yes, you should authenticate your bags beforehand before you buy it, but sometimes you're not always going to be able to. It's going to be a case of using your own due diligence. Who are you buying from? What is the store? What is the business? What is their reputation? You know, if it's like an Instagram seller, you might be able to get them to do enough photos for you to authenticate beforehand. Now, I know when you say Instagram seller, it's a bit scary, but you know, bear with me, we'll get to that later. Firstly, before I talk about the payment aspect, I'm going to continue on with authentication. So there are a few companies that I really recommend to use for authentication of Chanel. There is Real Authentication. I do have a $5 off coupon code with them. It is not an affiliate code. It is just a referral code. It's a one-time use code. So if you want to get the discount all the time, you're going to have to keep creating a new account, which, I mean, can be done, right? I'll put that coupon code on the screen, and then I'll put the coupon code in the description bar down below. Zico Authentication. Zico Authentication is very experienced with Chanel. She is probably, I would say, probably the best authenticator for Chanel, but I don't know if she does absolutely everything. The other one is Michelle from Designer PAWN, don't know if I can say that word. So yeah, she has her own actual consignment store, which I'll talk about later, but she also does do Chanel authentication. She's also, I believe she's the owner of one of the Chanel Facebook groups. There's also B101 Review, formerly Bagaholic 101. Now, they don't do microchip Chanel bags, but they will do serial number Chanel bags, like the vintage ones and the ones with the serial number. So I have used them on many occasions for my Chanel vintage bags, and I'm very confident with their authentication services of Chanel. So, and they're very cheap too. They're very low cost. It's like $5 USD just for a determination. What I also would recommend that you do is, if you are not that experienced with buying Chanel bags, if you don't even have one Chanel bag in your collection, or you're just not that confident about paying attention to very fine details, then I would recommend that you get 2 authentications done. That will give you extra peace of mind. If you get 2 authentications done and both say authentic, then you know you've pretty much definitely guaranteed to have an authentic handbag. But if you get 2 authentications done and you got one saying authentic, one saying not authentic, that's when you're gonna have to go, hey, I need to go and get some more authentications done, because you then won't know, right? So that's why I kind of say, if you're not that experienced with Chanel bags, you don't own any, you don't pay attention to details on bags, then just always get 2 authentications done. Now, the next thing, this is going to depend on the actual seller that you're buying from, what kind of payment methods they actually accept. So this might not completely apply, but I would say that what I'm saying is going to help to protect yourself, to help to protect that money that you've got, because you'll have additional fallbacks just in case the bag is not authentic. So I would really err on the side of caution of doing bank transfer. If you do decide to do bank transfer, then definitely, in my opinion, what I would say is that you buy from any of those places that I am going to recommend, in my opinion, because, you know, all right, my opinion. If you are deciding to pay bank transfer, and also get your bag authenticated before you do the bank transfer, okay? Also make sure that any of the places that I'm recommending, you double check that that's the right place. Like, don't just be like, oh, that's the store that Mel recommended. Make sure that it is actually the right store I've recommended. Make sure you go back and click on the Instagram link that I put down below and make sure that that's the right store. You can even go and try and Google on Trustpilot for a review of that store as well if you want like additional peace of mind. Like, just cover your bases. Like, even if you can try and find out the address of the store as well, double check that the address matches, the website matches, like all their social media handles matches, just to make sure you're not buying from a store that's impersonating another store, because that does happen, especially on Instagram, where the seller is exclusively an Instagram seller, or they predominantly sell on Instagram. They do get a lot of accounts that impersonate them and fake that they are them or that they're affiliated with them. So always double check that you are buying from the correct place that I am personally, in my opinion, recommending as to be a reputable store, because you could get duped and you could get scammed that is a fake impersonation store pretending to be someone else. That's if you decide to do bank transfer because the store only accepts bank transfer. You're gonna have to be very, very careful about who you're sending your money to, making sure it's the right store, and I would recommend to get the bag authenticated first. Even if you're buying from any of the places I'm saying that I bought from and I trust, get the bag authenticated first. That's when you're doing bank transfer, but I don't recommend bank transfer. I would say don't do bank transfer if you can avoid it. There's going to be a few stores that will only take bank transfer, okay? But those ones I have actually bought from myself, like regularly and recently, so I kind of feel like a bit more confident to recommend them, but I am worried that you guys will find like an impersonation fake account and buy from the wrong place. That's what I'm a bit worried about. So that's why I'm saying go back and click on the links in this description. Like, save this video so you can go back and click on all the links that I put down below. That way you don't go down the path of a fake impersonator store. All right, now back to what I was saying. Now, the payment methods that I would really strongly recommend that you only use is PayPal goods and services, and pay with credit card if you're paying on PayPal goods and services. If you don't have a credit card, pay with your debit card, which might be a MasterCard, Visa card, American Express, Amex. Pay with a debit card that has a money back guarantee. Okay, so let's talk about PayPal goods and services. PayPal goods and services has a dispute process where you can actually dispute if you didn't receive the item, if you received something that is not as described, and it has to be greatly not as described. If it's a minor flaw, PayPal are going to tell you to bugger off. No, you're going to get your claim denied, or at the very least, you'll have to pay the return shipping cost. But PayPal does act as a protection service, because if the bag is deemed fake and you have 2 reports saying that the bag is fake, then they will help you to get your money back. They will, you know, support you in the dispute process. They have the money back guarantee, okay? If you don't get the bag, they have the money back guarantee. If the tracking doesn't prove that it's delivered, if you prove that you haven't received it, you'll get the money back guarantee with PayPal. So that's how PayPal protects you. The extra payment protection when paying with PayPal goods and services is that you pay with a debit card, which is backed by money back guarantee, be that MasterCard or Visa card, Amex, American Express, or you pay with a credit card. All of those, credit card's actually the better one. If you can pay with a credit card, that's actually even better, because the way that credit card works is that it's actually the bank's money, so they're more inclined to fight for you to get your money back. Still, on a debit card, you do still have buyer protection as long as your debit card is backed by that kind of buyer protection. But I would still say strongly credit card is like the best one. And with either of those, if say for example, PayPal doesn't support you, you have all the evidence to support that the bag was inauthentic, you can actually raise a chargeback with your bank and provide them all the evidence for them to actually fight on your behalf to get you your money back as well, because the bag was deemed fake. The other way is that if the seller does not accept PayPal goods and services, but they have a credit card payment system where you can process payments by credit card, like on their website, definitely in those instances I would say try to just use your credit card when it's not additionally backed by PayPal. Try to just use a credit card when you are actually buying online and they don't accept PayPal, because again, credit card has the chargeback that you can do by providing all that supporting evidence that the bag was fake from those authenticators. You can submit that and you can actually get your money back that way. Like, you're pretty much guaranteed to get your money back as long as you can prove that the bag that you received is fake. And that's why you need to know those authenticators to use. And yeah, chargeback with your credit card company will actually get you your money back as well. Supposed to, according to the money back guarantee, but obviously there's going to be a policy that you should read just to be versed in it. The other thing is, yeah, if you do pay with a debit card and it's like MasterCard, Visa card, Amex, American Express, any of those institutes that have a money back guarantee, then you could do that as well, but it's just not as solid. Like, it doesn't mean that you won't get your money back, it's just that the problem is that you're actually using your own money rather than using the bank's money to buy the bag. So there's that kind of like a slight kind of differentiation of how they might actually work to get your money back. And it also might depend on the policy. So definitely it's going to depend on what debit card you're using. Read the policy. But yeah, debit card is kind of like, it's almost like, it's like a notch above paying bank transfer, but they're not ideal. It's kind of like PayPal goods and services or credit card, or the both of them combined is going to give you a better payment protection. Personally for me, because I'm buying from these reputable sellers, because I don't like to use credit cards, I do have one. I have one. It's my husband's and I, but I don't like to use it. Also, I don't get the free, free international transaction fee on that credit card. I don't like to use it for my purchases personally, and I just use my debit card. But I do know how the policy works for my particular bank with the debit card and with MasterCard. And I'm only buying from places that I truly like trust anyways. Like, I'm very particular about it, so that way I can feel more confident with using my debit card or even doing bank transfer. But this is not what I like generally recommend. I'm trying to give you a video on things that I really think that you should do as a novice to buying Chanel, like your first bags, or what you should try to do to protect yourself. And I would still stick with saying PayPal goods and services plus credit card, or PayPal goods and services plus your debit card, not your bank account. Debit card or credit card only with PayPal goods and services, or use a credit card. Those are the ways that you can kind of, protect yourself when it comes to buying online. Obviously, if you're buying in store, like in store personally, that's going to be a completely different thing. And that's when I would say definitely know who you're buying from. Get a receipt for your purchase. Make sure it's in the country that you actually live, just in case you need to take them to, like, whatever you have in your country. In Australia, we have fair trading and the Australian Consumer Competition Commission. So you have these avenues to actually try and get your money back as well if someone scammed you. Like in Australia, that's what we have. But that's like only if you're buying physically in store. Make sure you're actually buying from the country that you live. I wouldn't recommend that you go overseas and buy a bag overseas from a consignment store that you don't actually live in that country and you pay cash. I think that that's a bad idea. If you pay credit card, that's okay, because you're going to be protected by the credit card, like by the money back guarantee with the credit card. But paying in cash when you are traveling overseas, I would say that's probably not a good idea unless you're very confident in the store that you're buying from, okay? Like, you know who the store is, you know their reviews, you know they're trusted, like you've done all your background checks, you've done all your due diligence. That's pretty much what I can say, like, sums up this video, is do your due diligence. Research who you're buying from, check reviews online wherever you can, type in their name in YouTube and see if anyone's done unboxings from them. Like, try to research as much as you can to protect yourself. It is important. But once you actually master it, once you actually get these habits down packed, like the way to pay, how to check companies, that kind of thing, it can save you a lot of money, like lots of money in the long run. And you're not having to pay these new, like, inflated prices from Chanel. I'm going to give you now a list of the places that I have bought from recently, who I have bought from in the past, who I kind of have as an honorable mention, as I believe would be is a recommended store. One of my Chanel bags now from Japan, ever since I discovered Black Ship, which is a Japan on-forwarding service. I'm going to leave a referral link down below to Black Ship. They are the on-forwarder that I use to buy from Japan if the seller doesn't ship to Australia, or they don't ship with a shipping method that I want them to use. Then that's when I go ahead and I use Black Ship. And Black Ship's, I mean, I've done a video on it, so I'll leave that link down below where I speak more about how I use the Black Ship on forwarding service. Now I'm going to have as well linked down below a heap of the Japan stores that I actually do buy from. I have said this before many times that I buy from Japan Rakuten, which is actually a Japanese marketplace, but it's kind of like, how do I put it? It's kind of like eBay Japan, right? It's a bit like that, but it's not eBay. So it's a marketplace that is all these Japanese stores. And I would say, as someone who is not familiar with buying Preloved, or you've never shopped on there before, it's a bit intimidating. No, I'm not going to do a video on it, because I feel like it's a case of you either do it and you just buy it, add it to cart, buy it, check out, pay, send it to your Black Ship address. That's it. Like, you either do that and you have the guts to do it, or you just don't, because it's not something that I can film a video on and teach you on, because it is all in Japanese. You have to know how to turn on Google Translator on your computer, or Apple Translator. You have to know how to do that. You have to have a Black Ship address. You have to have a credit card that accepts international payments. Like, it is complex. I'm not lying, it is complex, but I'm very confident with it because I was using Rakuten Global Marketplace when they had the international platform. So it wasn't really too hard to transition from that to the Japanese language marketplace. A lot of the stores that are on the Japan Rakuten marketplace, they actually do have eBay stores as well. A lot of them do. Like, not all of them, because there are so many luxury consignment stores in Japan. It is just crazy. There is so much there that there's absolutely no way that all of them are going to bother to put themselves on eBay, because they get the business in Japan. Luxury is a huge industry in Japan, but there are still a lot that are on Japan eBay, and they are all ones that I've actually bought from, or I know that they're a reputable Japanese consignment store. I'm not going to run through all of them because they've got kind of complicated names, some of them, and I can't pronounce them, like Dokokuya, Boom to Hanton. Like, I just sound like I'm butchering the Japanese language. So I'm going to leave all of the Japanese consignment stores linked down below. And that's why I said you need to save this video. And every time you're wanting to look for like when you're about to buy a Chanel bag, even if you save this seller, go back and click on the link to make sure that you actually are buying from the place that I have recommended. And for even the Instagram sellers, like, go to the video, go back and click on that link that I put down there. The other place that I've been buying from is Vestier Collective. Vestier Collective is a huge Preloved marketplace, and you do have professional sellers on there as well. You actually have Japanese sellers that are now using Vestier Collective. Vestier Collective usually is quite typically the European market, and it's also like Hong Kong and Singapore sort of market. So there is a lot of sellers on there. They are usually private sellers, people that are selling their own bags, but that's how you can get really good deals, because you're buying from private individuals, people that might be selling it because they don't like it anymore, people that are selling it because they need money. Like, you can get bargains. That's how I've gotten some really good deals, is buying on Vestier Collective. There is also that option on Vestier Collective to make an offer if the seller has it on. Most of the times, 9 times out of 10, there is that option there to make an offer, and you can actually make an offer 30% less than the listed price, up to 30% less than the listed price. And then you can go from there with haggling with the seller to see what they would sort of accept. You know, I think it's around about maybe 4 or 5 offers that you can send between each other to haggle the price, and then eventually you'll get to the point where you either accept or decline the offer. But even if you decline the offer and then you go ahead and you can actually go back into the listing and click make an offer again. Like, you never get completely cut off from making offers. Unlike eBay, you do actually have a limit on how many offers you can make, and then once you hit the limit, that's it, you're done. But Vestier Collective, no. You can actually go back in and make another offer again, because I've done that before, where I've gone, I think that the seller might have declined my last offer, and then there was no more offers to be made. And then I went back into the listing and just made a new offer and started the process again. I've gotten really good deals that way on Vestier Collective doing that. So I'll have the link to Vestier Collective down below in the description bar. I'll also list some coupons that I have as well for Vestier if you are a new shopper to Vestier Collective. It does depend on where you're buying from though. Vestier pretty much ships worldwide. You can buy from anywhere in the world and buy on Vestier Collective, except some of the countries, they will add the tax at checkout, and some countries might have a higher tax to buy from. So in Australia, our tax is typically 13%. On Vestier Collective, they add it automatically at the checkout, so you don't have any more tax to pay when you receive the item. The other places that I've been buying from recently is also from Europe in general, from my contacts there. I've developed a lot of contacts in there that, you know, resell handbags from friends, consignment, that kind of thing. But I just want to put that in there. Yes, I do buy my Chanel bags from Europe through personal contacts as well, but it's not something that I can link or refer you to because it is very much a personal system. Okay, now the other one that I actually bought from recently, not a Chanel bag, but another bag, a Louis Vuitton bag, is Global Luxe Closet. Her name is Sasha. She's pretty like known like in like the Chanel community as a seller. She's only on Instagram, so again, you're gonna have to make sure you're clicking on that link in the description bar to make sure you go to the right Instagram account. She has a website, so that's what I'll do. I'll link her website down below, Global Luxe Closet. I'll put her Instagram that she currently has and her website. But yeah, I bought from her recently. She only accepts bank transfer, so she's one of the ones that I would recommend if you want the peace of mind to get it authenticated first. But in terms of trust and trusting her to ship it, I have had no issues, and I know that she's very respected in the Chanel community as a Chanel seller. The other ones that I bought from in the past, a little bit further along ago, not so recently, but I've had good experiences with them, is Timeless Vogue Australia. Aussie watching this video, definitely follow her on Instagram. The other one is the Purseonfleek. I got my iridescent mini flap from them. They do have a website, so I'll have their website linked down below. You can follow their Instagram through their website anyway. Highly recommend them. They ship worldwide as well. So does Timeless Vogue. All these places actually will ship worldwide. So the next one is Fashionphile. Fashionphile is world renowned. Like, everybody knows Fashionphile. Very respected, very reputable, very strict authentication process. They do ship worldwide, but they're actually better if you live in the US or Canada, I believe. If you live anywhere else, you're definitely gonna get stung with tax and duties when the item arrives, which can be a bit painful. How I actually buy from Fashionphile is I actually use a on-forwarding service in the US called Stackery, and I'll leave the referral link for Stackery along with the black sheep referral link together in the description bar. But the reason that I use Stackery is because Stackery allows me to pick the shipping service that I use. It allows me to modify my shipping options and all those kinds of things. Like, it lets me modify my shipment the way I want to. It gives me full control. So that's why when I buy from Fashionphile, I get it sent to my Stackery address and then I get it sent to me here. The other one is eBay. I have actually bought bags from eBay from Japan sellers as well, but eBay broadly, so not just specifically Japan sellers, eBay broadly. If you are able to buy a bag that has the authenticity guarantee check on it, then that could potentially be an option for you. I would say steer clear of sellers that have zero feedback on eBay. Steer clear of sellers that have new accounts, like very new, like we're talking like in the past like 3 months sort of new, you know. Steer clear of sellers that have low feedback, under 20 as a seller. I would still say steer clear of that. Yeah, I would try to buy from sellers on eBay that have like more than 100 positive feedback as a seller, not just a buyer, actually as a seller, you know. I would also try to make sure that you buy only bags that have the authenticity guarantee check. And what that means is that the seller will have to ship the bag to the authenticity service before they send it to you. One thing to note about the authenticity guarantee is that it's sometimes not international cross-country based. So me in Australia, if I were to buy a bag from Japan, I cannot get the authenticity guarantee check done because they don't have a point from Japan to the authenticity center to Australia. I think that there's an issue with tax and duties, and that's why they don't have that. For the most part, it's not cross country for the most part, but there might be instances where it is. Otherwise, if you are buying from a seller in the same country as you, most likely if they have listed the handbag as the clothing and shoes, accessories, women handbags category, there is a way that sellers get around this, is that they don't put it in the handbags category, they put it in a different category. So make sure it's in the right category too. If it's in the right category, it will have the authenticity check guarantee. So they will have to send it to the authenticity center and they will get it checked and then they'll send it to you. Shop Linda's stuff, I bought from her. She's based in the US. She's on eBay. I'll link her down below as well. Okay, I know I talk a bit fast, so I'm gonna try and summarize that part I just said about eBay. So the takings from eBay, because I know eBay is a bit scary. Buy from within the same country that you live if it has the authenticity check guarantee tick mark, because the seller has to ship it to the authenticity guarantee. The other thing with eBay is that you can buy from those Japanese stores that I linked down below in the description bar. But always get your stuff authenticated after. Even if it has the authenticity guarantee, get your stuff authenticated after. Just be safe, protect yourself. Because eBay does have a money back guarantee. It's up to 30 days. And if the authenticator gets it wrong, you can get your money back. Okay, so another place as well, which is actually good if you're in Europe. So if you're in Europe, Vestier Collective is really good for you. Also, Jolie Closet. Jolie Closet is kind of a little bit like Vestier Collective, but not as big as Vestier Collective. I'm going to rattle off a few stores that are actually exclusively on Instagram, or they have showrooms in their country, okay? But I have actually bought from all of these stores that I'm going to tell you. The first one is Conrad's Closet. So he is based in Australia. He's also a YouTuber. Connor, you might be familiar with him, but yes, he does sell Chanel bags from time to time via, like, you know, their consignment from his clients. So Conrad's Closet is based only on Instagram. Again, all the Instagram links are going to be down below in the description bar. The other one is Trove by SGD. He is also the owner of OBSG, which is a Hermes consignment store, but I'm just going to focus on his Preloved consignment store that has Chanel on there as well. So Trove by SGD. He does actually have a showroom as well in Singapore. The other one is Sia SG, My Beautiful Bags. She again has a Instagram account, but also has a showroom in Singapore. She has Hermes and Chanel bags listed. Very, very friendly. She communicates by WhatsApp. So does Stan as well from Trove by SGD. The other one is Luxury by Desiree. I have bought Hermes from her only, but I know that she does do Chanel, a little bit of Chanel. Very lovely lady. She is again only on Instagram. Don't think she has a showroom though. And then the other one that is also exclusively on Instagram but does have a showroom is Yas Finds. He is owned by Your Authentic Seller, which is a very renowned seller of Hermes. So his business that is doing Chanel, Louis Vuitton, and other brands, that's called Yas Finds, and that's on Instagram. But he does have the showroom in Singapore, places that I personally have bought from recently or previously. Now, I'm going to do some honorable mentions of places that I know are reputable, but I have not actually bought from these places, but I know them, I've spoken with them, I know other people who have bought from them, I know that they're pretty reputable on the community, like Facebook luxury groups, on the Purse forum, that kind of thing. So I'm going to rattle them off to you. The first one is Coco Approved. There's a website, so I'll link her website down below. Designer PAWN. She is on Facebook and she has an Instagram, and she has a website as well. So I will link either of those. The other one is Love Lots Luxury. She is actually on Instagram and she has a website. So I'll leave her website link down below. Camellia Curate. She specializes mostly in vintage and she's only on Instagram. Now, all these ones that I'm going to mention as honorable mentions are actually ideal if you live in Australia. The Lux Theory. He's on Instagram and he does have a website, but I think he mainly focuses on the Instagram. The Emir, they're on Instagram and on website. Circles of Lux. She is in Western Australia. She's based mainly on Instagram, I think. Yeah, mainly. Might have a website as well. The other one is Lux It Forward. They are website mainly. Blue Spinach, mainly website. Prima and Donna, small business based in, I believe, the Gold Coast and only on Instagram. Chloe and Eddie, I think only Instagram. The other one is My Timeless Luxuries. She actually does Chanel ready to wear as well. So she does bags and ready to wear. She is website and Instagram, but I'll leave the website down below. And then the other one is Miss Lux Oz. She is Instagram only, that one. Now, the other ones that I have here are good if you live in the US or you live in Canada. That is Lady Donna Lux, Anne's Fabulous Finds, mainly website only. Now You Glow, I Miss You Vintage, Yogi's Closet. The last ones I have here is Luxury Promise. So that's good if you live in Europe or like the Middle East or something. And the other one is Valois Vintage Paris. I think I've covered everything. I hope I have, because I am out of breath. I'm exhausted. I think I have given you the best education lesson that I could based on my experience and my opinion only. This is not a hard or fast rule. I'm just sharing my opinions and my experience, but I think I've given you a pretty good crash course, and hopefully all that information that I have given you is able to help you guys to buy Chanel bags outside of the store now. There is so much savings to be had. The other thing I wanted to say is that Japan is like the absolute best for vintage. I bought for my friend on her behalf, and I sparred a Chanel bag, and I did a video on it, so I'll link it down below. But I bought her a Chanel classic flap. She gave me the money for it, but I hunted it for her, and it was like under $6,000 Australian. And it was a small classic flap, and the condition was amazing. Like the bag spar I did on it myself was like easy peasy, and it was like, I wish I could actually get a Chanel vintage bag that price. They have gone up a little bit since the November increase, and now the market might go up again since the last increase. So if you are looking for a vintage classic flap, I would say act now before it goes up that little bit. Even though the pricing doesn't go up that much, like that's a good thing about the pre-loved market and the vintage market, is that when Chanel has a price rise, their prices go up just a notch, like just a little bit, not the same percentage that Chanel bloody does. They just go up a little notch. Protect yourself as much as you can with the type of payment that you use. Protect yourself by getting authentication done wherever possible beforehand. Stick to places that are reputable and well known, that have reviews. I mean, I'm pretty confident with the ones that I have recommended. I'm very confident with them, but you know, you should give yourself your own peace of mind too, and do your own research as well wherever possible. And then once you kind of establish that trust and you know who you're buying from and you get used to this, you know, it just opens up a whole world of possibility when it comes to buying Chanel bags. I saved thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars buying my Chanel bags pre-loved, and that way I'm not contributing towards the inflation, because I'm not contributing towards the rich becoming richer, because that's what it is. These luxury brands are owned by very rich people, you know, and even their stakeholders are very rich. So I feel like I'm not contributing to that by giving the brand direct profit. I'm, you know, and also doing better for the environment as well. Like buying something that someone else didn't want anymore, whatever it may be, it is better for the environment to reduce the production. Go to Chanel to buy a classic flap, then that means that's one extra bag they had to make, right? One extra statistics towards their selling and also their profits as well. But if I go ahead and buy one pre-loved, whether it be vintage or pre-loved, whatever, that's a bag that's already been made. It's a bag that is ready to go. It's not affecting the environment with cost of materials and using of leather and all that stuff. It's ready to go. It's just better for the environment. And as well, like I said, with those bag spars, even if you're buying pre-loved and it's beat up, you could send it to a bag spar. What you should probably do, depending on how beat up the bag is, the pictures of the bag that you're looking to buy, send it off to the bag spar for a quote so you have an idea what it's going to cost you. Most of them will quote you based on photos, so then you can decide, okay, well, it's going to cost me $300 or $400 in repair. That's going to be an additional cost on top of what I'm spending for the bag. How good of a deal am I getting? So that is it. I'm done. Description bar, open it up. All your links are going to be down below in the description bar. The other thing I was going to say is if you do buy from any of the Instagram only sellers, if you buy from them, let them know I sent you. You know, it might give me some brownie points. Who knows? I don't get discounts on buying bags from any of these sellers anyway. The most discount I've ever got is free shipping. That's it. So it's not like I get any perks from it, but I just think it's nice that you let them know I was the one that gave them the shout out and recommended you. Like, I just think it's a nice thing to do, to give acknowledgement where acknowledgement is due, right? That kind of thing. But that is it. I'm going to sign off from this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.